Okay, game 4 here, and this board has a lot of power on it. You can get, quite a few things done in one turn if you set up your engine properly. In particular, what I'm looking at is salvaging gold, which you would gain through the market square. So you could trash a gold to the salvager, react all your market squares, 4 or 5 of them, and get 4 or 5 gold in return, and buy lots of things. So how do you build the engine? Well, the draw is Catacombs or Ranger. Jack isn't going to cut it. Vault as well, and I was considering opening Vault to try to spike King's Court, but Vault only gets you to 6 and you can get gold, so I need to have to wait again. And if I open Vault and my opponent sees that and goes for Militia and hits me on my Vault turn, then that's very saddening. So instead of the Vault, I opt for the Jack. Vault trades the neutral option here. I feel defense against the Militia isn't terrible at getting you to 7 for the King's Court, and it's a bit of draw if you needed to do that. So I go for the Jack and nothing opening, of course. So back to building the engine. Draw is Catacombs or Ranger or Vault, I believe, or Jack, but I believe you will want to go with the Catacombs primarily, not so much the Ranger. A Kinged Ranger could go either give you 5 cards or 10 cards, and Kinged Catacombs is guaranteed 9 all the time, and a select 9, ones that you choose. So I think paying the extra money for the Catacombs is worth it. The plus buy from the Ranger is not really necessary because there's Salvager and Market Square around to do that. And the payload, like I said, was salvaging numerous golds. So how do you build it, right? Well, first you use Jack to get rid of these estates and convert them to silvers. And then you look to buy some King's Courts and some draws and some Market Square, some draw, not draws. This is not IKEA. This is Dominion, some Catacombs and some Market Squares. So 4 here is a Salvager for me, a Market Square for my opponent. Salvager is obvious because payload, big payload card, gonna pick up a Market Square alongside it, so potential to start gaining gold already. I will not do so though. I want to get very thin before I do so, because yeah, the thinner you get, the more reliable your engine is. And it needs to be a bit reliable here. This could be a couple Market Squares on 6, could also be a gold to try to get me to the King's Court. It could be Vault. Now I'm considering the Vault because I have a Silver and the Jack in my deck. So I could Vault into 7, but that Vault is still a little bit sketchy because it'll allow my opponent to cycle a little bit and decrease their hand size, and if they play their Jack after they've discarded, and they could draw quite a bit of cards and maybe hit 7 that way. I would make it easier for them to hit 7. So hold up on the Vault there, get a Catacombs instead. Now I know there's 3 terminals in my deck, I know that, but I'm hoping to get to King's Court soon enough here. 4, I think this is another Market Square. I could put another silver in the deck, but I don't really want to put silver when Jack is giving me silver. I could go for Militia too, but 4 terminals, that is just sheer chaos in the deck. So I go for the Market Square. I will need it eventually, and it doesn't really collide with anything. So here, almost to 7, not quite. Could get up to 6. So I could chop this silver for gold here, or I could just chop the copper being thin and pick up another Market Square, having a quiet turn. Or I could buy a Vault, maybe I could Vault into I just have this nice, not nice, I just have this idea of vaulting into King's Court. I do pick up the Militia here. I don't know why. Maybe I felt I could get to 7 on this hand. And I do get to 7 on this hand because the Catacombs, I'm able to find money with it. I skip the first 3 cards, get the second 3, which allows me to get to King's Court. And now, with that 1 King's Court, if I king a Market Square, I can play my terminals. We are in good shape. We are in very good shape. So here, this is what happens when you have multiple terminals in your deck. Um, what I am going to do here is play the Salvager and get rid of the Jack of all trades. I have all that I need at this point. I don't need the Jack to draw. I have enough money to buy King's Court, and there is no reason for this Jack to be in the deck anymore. So I'm gonna get rid of it, and I will not react this Market Square. I don't think I'm thin enough yet to warrant me reacting this Market Square. So I should have played it here. I don't know why I didn't play it. Kind of dumb. But 5 is going to be another Catacombs here. So really hoping on the reshuffle to see King's Court paired with a Market Square. Do not want to draw it dead, because that would just make me cry. So in the meantime, my opponent has been picking up some Rangers. I'm not really sure why they went for the Ranger option for draw. I think the Catacombs is just better. You get like as many cards, not as many cards, but around the same number of cards as you would with the Ranger. Like I said, a King Ranger could go either way, right? Either give you 5 or 10 cards. And the Catacombs is guaranteed 9. I select 9. So I think the Catacombs is just better for draw here. That Ranger manages to get them into a King's Court after drawing dead 5 cards. So that idea, I guess, is cool. You could use the Ranger to try to catapult yourself into getting King's Court. But I went about it a little bit differently. Here I am going to not use the Salvager at this point, just using the Militia to strike my opponent and to pick up a King's Court and a Market Square. So right now in my position, it is to just empty the Market Squares and get as many King's Courts as I could. So here I could have salvaged this Catacombs for a King's Court, but I thought I'd better keep it. Play the Catacombs instead of salvaging it and pick up another Market Square along the way here. So another big draw for my opponent from the Ranger, but they only come up with 5 this time, and this is the issue, right? You can't guarantee what you're drawing with that Ranger. Could be a pile of junk. Junk being you could draw dead all your action cards and then still not hit 7 for the King's Court, and be in a very uncomfortable and bad situation. Here I am able to connect the Market Square with King, which is what I want to do, and I want to leave this other King for the Salvager just to clean up. And here now I play the Salvager over the Militia again to clean up my deck, get rid of the coppers. In fact, just get rid of all the treasure cards as much as I could here, so that I could start gaining gold off of these Market Squares and really start to send this deck home. So here my opponent manages to chain their King with a Market Square, but not a lot happening, and still they have quite a few Rangers, and now second Salvager, I believe. Oh, this is their first Salvager, maybe. I'm not sure. But here I'm able to kick off. No, I'm not able to kick off. That King is not on our Market Square, it's on our Catacombs. Here I pick up my second Salvager. Actually, I lied. I pick up the Ranger. Here I get my second Salvager soon enough. Apologies. The Ranger is just for some draw potentially, because I will need a lot of draw to gain gold and then redraw the gold in the same turn. So another King's Court for my opponent, but here I could King the Ranger, but like I said, this is one of those situations where I just draw 5 cards. Not really appealing. I could instead just King the Market Square and probably draw through my deck, which is what I end up doing. So now I'm going to play the Ranger to turn over the token, so next time I see it, it will get me the 5 cards. So if I King it the next time, I'll get 10 cards off of it, and now set up the deck for the next turn. Kill 3 coppers, replace it with 3 gold, I believe, and we're looking ready to roll here. My opponent only has silver, so that's excellent news for me here. I play this Ranger and King, and now we can make the deck sing. So I get rid of the last copper from my deck, a couple golds through the Salvager, regain the gold, and yeah, now the deck is in full swing here. Look at this, 27-13 buys. So when you're ahead in the game, and the game isn't gonna end. Just keep building. Just keep building as much as you could. So I put pathfinding in the market squares. I have no problem with draw now, and pick up a couple king's courts along the way here, along with the second salvager. This is where the second salvager is bought. Massive, massive salvaging here. So now my opponent actually has a good turn here, king in the catacombs, after a king in the market square. So I was a little bit worried they could end the game somehow, because they have a ton of buys. They could, I don't know, maybe pile called curses or something, but there's 3 king's courts left. I don't think they have even $21 to get the 3 king's courts. So that does not happen, fortunately. They just have 8 and they pick up a king's court. It didn't really matter that they picked up this king's court, because what happens on my next turn here, I could have picked up that king's court and won the game easily. So game 4 concludes with this big turn here again. Quite a bit of gold, and salvage also quite a bit of gold, and buy out the remaining king's courts along with the estates. I didn't really check to see what else I could buy. I just knew that would give me the win, so I did that. So that is game 4. You could finish looking at the end of the game here if you like. See you in the next one.